Pre-dawn steel clatters as the hauler test shivers the longline across a wet deck. Paper charts map a corridor for giant Atlantic bluefin tuna, and the plan stays off screens. Fresh bait goes onto circle hooks, built to rotate cleanly under steady pressure.
Underwater, the longline fades into blue-black, and the frame stays empty of animals. A single hook trembles in current as silt drifts by, and nothing enters the shot. A single hook trembles in current as silt drifts by, and nothing enters the shot.
A jammed clip clears fast because any weak point becomes a failure under load.
The current shifts, bait rotates once, and the line sways as pressure changes outside frame.
Depth and soak time are logged by hand, timed for giant Atlantic bluefin tuna that rise and fall with light. Hook rack cycle and baiting continues, and the deck stays quiet before first contact.
A giant bluefin glides past the longline at distance, ignoring the bait without a single strike. It turns near the bait, tail beating once, then drifts away without touching the hook.
At the surface, the buoy trembles in pulses that suggest something heavy is testing the line below. Two shapes pass deeper behind the hooks, close enough to raise tension, but still no bite. An analog clock marks the window, and the course holds steady for the next pull. A bluefin circles wider, then disappears into darkness, leaving only scuffed bait and a vibrating leader. On deck, hands hover near the hauler, waiting for the first real pull to commit. A buoy jerks hard beside the hull, and the line goes tight enough to signal the reveal.
The bait disappears in a surge, and the circle hook rotates into the jaw corner as the fish turns away.
The buoy dips and recovers, and the line hums with a heavy, steady run. The hauler engages, and the deck shifts from quiet prep to controlled force.
A giant bluefin breaks the surface in a full breach, then slams back down without slowing the run.
Up close, the hook sits clean in the jaw corner, and the leader exits the mouth under constant tension.
A tail rope is readied and the tuna door is cleared, while the fish surges along the hull.
A second breach throws spray across the frame, and the line stays tight through the impact.
Swell rocks the deck, and every step stays clear of snapback as the hauler takes load.
A chafe point is protected on the fly, because a single rub can end the fish and the gear.
A third breach twists mid-air, and the leader stays taut as the fish tries to shake free. The fish comes alongside, and the crew guides it toward the tuna door without giving slack.
A final breach erupts near the tuna door. Then the fish rolls back and is pulled into position.
Tuna door drops, and steady hauling power draws the fish aboard in controlled increments. The hook is backed out from the jaw corner carefully, protecting both the crew and the meat quality.
A controlled bleed and quick rinse start the race to chill the core without wasting time.
The fish is lowered into slurry ice, and temperature control becomes the next battle.
Bait and hooks are reset immediately, because the window stays tight and the line must keep fishing.
Underwater, the longline hangs steady, and the spacing stays clean for the next hit. A second bluefin rushes in, takes the bait, and the circle hook rotates into the jaw corner on the turn.
The buoy surges and the line screams, turning the calm sea into a moving fight. The hauler manages load without giving slack, keeping the leader clear of hands and steel. The fish circles near the surface, rolling once as it tries to change angle against the line.
At the rail, the hook sits in the jaw corner, and a long-handled tool keeps the crew out of danger.
A sudden surface run throws spray along the hull, and the buoy bounces with every surge. Tuna door is cleared again, and hand signals replace words in the wind. The second fish slides aboard in controlled increments, and the deck stays disciplined around tension. The hook comes free from the jaw corner, and bent gear is swapped before the next strike. Ice and rinse reset the deck fast, keeping the work area clean for the next pull.
A third bluefin shadows the hooks, then accelerates, and bait flutters under the pressure wave. The bite lands clean, and the circle hook rotates into the jaw corner as the fish turns away.
The buoy dips hard, and the line slices the surface like a wire under load. Crew and hauler synchronize, guiding the leader off the rail to protect it from chafe. A deep dive steepers the line angle, and tension hums as the fish heads down. Under load, metal heats and swivels strain, and seawater cools the contact points.
The fish resurfaces broadside, rolling once as it tries to change the fight's geometry. The tuna door becomes the only path, and the crew pulls the fish into that narrow alignment.
Third fish boards, the hook comes free, and rinse water clears the deck in seconds.
Fresh bait returns to circle hooks, because the line must keep working while conditions hold.
In the wheelhouse, paper logs update the run, and a weather front tightens the timeline.
A squall turns steel slick, and the crew keeps hauling under rain and wind without losing control.
In storm spray, the buoy keeps jumping, and tension never fully releases.
Washdown cleans the work zone, and hooks are secured before the next shift begins.
Below deck, slurry ice churns, and every lid is sealed to protect core temperature.
Underwater, hooks sway in fading light, and the set feels quiet after the day's hits.
With the set secured, buoys trail into the sunset as the vessel turns toward shore. At the port cold dock, insulated bins arrive by forklift, and the catch becomes freight. Forklifts move pallets into staging, and every wrap tightens to protect the cold chain. A quality gate checks seals and condition, while paperwork stay unreadable and off camera. Inside the plant, sanitation gives way to motion as conveyors start and water clears the steel. Bluefin is graded by color and fat lines because value depends on what the muscle shows. Primary breakdown separates collars and sections with clean cuts, keeping the muscle intact.
Thick back loins move onto the belt, deep ruby and firm, built for high-end cuts.
Belly sections show heavy marbling, and trimming becomes precise to preserve that fat structure. Pallets queue for reefer staging, and analog checks confirm the cold chain holds without screens. Trim work removes sinew and dark edges, preserving bluefin color and marbling in close-up. Loins become standardized blocks, stacked with aligned grain and clean edges for consistency.
Akami, chutoro, and otoro separate by fat content, and each stack shows a different sheen.
Vacuum seals pull tight, locking in texture while the line keeps moving. Packed blocks pass metal detection in a steady flow, and nothing interrupts the conveyor rhythm. Cases stack into pallets, and the product shifts from craft cuts to standardized logistics. Boxes route by size class through rollers and chuts, keeping throughput constant. Weights are checked without readable digits, and the line keeps pace through silent signals. Sealed cases enter a chilled staging room, where fans and fog keep temperature stable. Quality control focuses on seals and clarity, because a single leak ruins texture.
A wide shot shows the plant in motion, conveyors running, workers spaced, and steel reflecting clean light. A brief rinse beads droplets on smooth packs before they drop into crates for the next stage.
Pallet builds square up layer by layer, because stability protects the cold chain in transit. Pallets roll into a reefer bay, and the cold chain hands off from plant to transport. Reefer doors close with a hard clank, and a plain seal locks the shipment for the road.
Inside the reefer, fans spin and frost edges form, holding temperature through steady airflow.
Outbound pallets merge into one corridor, and forklift traffic stays tight and controlled.
Cleanup resets the plant, stripping the day back to bare steel and water.
Pallets sit in neat rows under cold light, ready for the next link in the chain. Dispatch closes on a final pallet, and the product leaves as a controlled, chilled unit. A blast freezer door opens, fog spills out, and pallets roll into colder air.
Cold storage racks rise high, and forklifts place pallets with slow precision in frozen air.
A pallet jack pushes cases into the reefer, and straps tighten to keep the load from shifting. At receiving, a seal breaks, cold vapor rolls out, and the chain continues without temperature loss. In the kitchen, sealed bluefin blocks hit stainless, and the work shifts from volume to precision. Controlled thawing protects texture, and condensation beads on plastic under cold light.
A long blade draws clean cuts, revealing ruby akami and marbled chutoro in a single motion.
A thick steak hits the pan, steam rises, and the surface begins to caramelize. After resting, the slice shows a warm red center and clean fat seams without tearing the grain.
Plating stays simple, clean slices, controlled garnish, and nothing that distracts from the fish.
A first bite lifts from the plate, and the texture shows firm grain and rich fat. The pass is wiped clean, portions are covered, and the day closes without spectacle.
Back aboard, the deck is washed down and lines are coiled, closing the work with routine.
In the ship's galley, coffee steam and tired hands replace the noise of the hauler. A paper log closes in the wheelhouse, and the clock keeps time for the next run. Dawn returns, the bow cuts low swell, and the wake trails behind in clean light. Wake and steel fill the frame, and spray crowds out the horizon for a hard close.
Bait trays return under dim light, and the next voyage is already beginning.